The largest map in the map pool. They just had to do it. Ay, mech versus mech. Yeah, that's what we're gonna get. That's exactly what we're gonna get. Oh god. Oh god, here we go. Spawning in the top left hand corner of Romanticide LE. We have the Peruvian Terran. Oh god, the red Terran representing Rebirth Esports on the biggest goddamn map of the map pool. Ay. La Tortuga of the Latin American scene, the mech Terran himself. It is NeO. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Romanticide LE, we have his brother in arms, the other Terran player also representing Rebirth Esports, the Peruvian Terran. He's purple. He is Tavo. Youth, where's the youth? I mean, these two here, they're like 20 years old. They're full of that youth juice. Oh my god. Welcome, Spaced Moon Milk. Unfortunately, I am solo casting today. I did not have my boy Milk with me. Otherwise we'd be neck deep in that youth juice, mate, let me tell you. Oh boy. I of course usually do cast ESL Open Cup Americas with Milk, so if you want to tune into that, you can. Oh my god. Meanwhile, thank you so much, Creep Tumor, for subscribing 3 months in a row. Quack. I hope you enjoy your ducks. I hope you enjoy your replays. I hope you enjoy the broadcast. Oh my god, my throat feels so much better with that water. Oh my god. Oh boy. Here we go. But yes, as we were getting into the lobby, both players, they were memeing a little bit. They were both like, aye, let's go. 30 minutes, no aggression, no, like, nothing whatsoever, and then let's just max out on mech. Ay, Maria, por favor. Save me. We're on Romanticide, which is also a very macro map as well. It's the most macro of all the maps in the map pool. I'm afraid. I'm very afraid. These guys, they face each other quite often. They practice together. They are friends. They talk about the game together. They theory craft. There's a lot that goes into this series, and they face each other before in tournaments. And usually, I believe Tavo comes out on top between the two of them. But it usually also goes to the ace match. It usually comes down to like who's able to siege up first, who isn't looking at their army at the time and gets pounced upon, right? It's like a lot of it does come down to that. Ooh, and this time we do have a little bit of a difference in their armies, as we do have one of our players, not this one. We do have Tavo going for Magfield accelerators. It looks like he wants to go for a more mobile Ferrari mech style, focusing on his cyclones. Meanwhile, Tavo, on the other hand, is going for no such thing, no such upgrade for now. He's just working on his army, working on his bases, working on his tech, and hasn't really invested into that upgrade quite yet. We'll see if he even wants to. Of course, in a TvT, you want to get a Cyclone out just in case your opponent goes for a 1-1-1 into a Banshee. You want to have some anti-air just in case for that scenario. Meanwhile, we do have the first forces of Tavo going across the map, but immediately he gets faced by the Cyclone of NeO and does get pushed away. And now it's slowly coming back to me. Oh god, it's slowly coming back to me. Again, we've casted these guys before, and in the past, Tavo has gotten Magfield accelerators and hasn't even committed to Cyclones. Oh my god, as we see, NeO, he's just gunning down all the units of Tavo. Tavo, he only has a single Cyclone left. Oh my god! A couple of Marines do come out just barely in time, and it looks like they are able to keep that Cyclone alive, but that was a lot of losses for Tavo. Meanwhile, we do see both players are going into their Ravens. I believe, yeah, Magfield did finish up, but again, it's this weird thing that Tavo does where he gets the upgrade, I think just for defense, and that's it. Like, we don't have any more Cyclones coming out. We're probably not going to see more Cyclones later on in this game. It's just an upgrade that he goes for, and he just has. Meanwhile, again, both players working on their Ravens. NeO already has one. He's going for a second. He does scan the main base of Tavo, does see all the production, does see that there's a tech lab on that starport, so he knows that, hey, of course, there's a Raven coming out. We've got plenty of Marines. Do not be fooled. There are Marines, but really, they're just so you don't die. This doesn't necessarily mean they are going bio mech or bio tank. Especially because there are no upgrades, there's no stim, there's no combat shields, there's no engineering bays, there's no extra Raxes. These are just to buffer to make sure that nothing too crazy goes on early on. Oh boy. And yeah, things are slowly ramping up. NeO, he's the first to throw down additional factories. Meanwhile, Tavo still has not done so. Oh my god. He's doing it! He switches over, he's working on stim, he is throwing down Raxes, he is not playing mech, he is playing bio tank, and this is the Tavo I know and love. This is why I mentioned earlier, it was very odd to see Tavo play mech against Perhark, for me anyway, because usually when we cast Tavo, he plays bio tank, even against Zerg, even against Terran. So here we go, he is going back to that style of play here, throwing down the extra Raxes. Meanwhile, NeO, this is the NeO again that we know. NeO, he is La Tortuga, he is the turtle mech. This is all he does. I wonder if there's a word for that, like a torlama, like a llama but a turtle, or a pigeon, una paloma. I don't know. We need to work on that. We need to work on that. Regardless though, he is just making it up. Tavo is going for a more diverse, a more mobile army, and with this he can go for like doom drops. He can catch his opponents unsieged and off guard, maybe hit a couple paces at the same time. But if he doesn't, if he is unable to break the shell of NeO, then NeO is just going to turtle up till he's maxed out and then slowly waddle across the map, and it's going to be very difficult to deal with. Oh boy, oh boy. We'll see how he does. As again, NeO is slowly ramping up. I love his spread of units. As we see his vision, he has Marines all over the place to scout whenever his opponent pushes out. Meanwhile, Tavo has a very similar setup, except only a handful of Marines out at very key positions. What's important about these positions is that they are ground pathways, not air pathways. That is why it is so much more important for NeO to have a much more diverse line of vision, because he's aware that drops could be happening. He scans, he sees all the Marines. There is no upgrade that really is a major tell, but because of what he's seen so far, he should know that it's biotank. And we see mech upgrades on the way for NeO already. I mean, we have 1-1 about to finish up for Tavo. With this 1-1 upgrade, Tavo could try and hit a timing. There we go. We do see the scan. NeO finally confirms 100% that it is a bio coming out from Tavo. So he should be able to prepare for it. We should be seeing some sensor towers. We should be seeing missile turrets being thrown down as well. There we go. As soon as he sees it, as soon as he confirms that it is bio, he needs to get ready for doom drops, because doom drops are a big way to lose the game as a mech player. And there we go, more turrets being thrown down in the main as well. So he is aware of his weaknesses and he is trying to patch them up as best as he can. And Tavo is pushing through the center of the map, but NeO does have vision. He does see the rocks going down. Does he move? Does he see though? He still has his main army here in the center. He has not responded. If Tavo does push on forward, then NeO will see it, and there we go. scans are being used. They do scan each other. We do see NeO is attempting to siege up. We'll see how good the engagement is going to be. Ooh, interference matrices on the Ravens of Tavo as every single Raven does go down, but we'll see if that's going to be enough as he's trying to push his way up the ramp. Oh my god, NeO, he only has 2 tanks left. 1 tank left. And he even loses the battle in the sky. Tavo just had too much there. Again, a lot of the Ravens focused on each other, and Tavo just had the advantage when it came to the amount of Vikings. With that, he lands his Vikings on the tanks, but there are not enough tanks to keep pushing up the ramp. But the Vikings are dealing so much damage. Yo, 3 Vikings and a dream. That is all you need, as NeO is eventually going to clean this up, but not without losing 10 SCVs. Does that matter though, is the big question, because sure, he lost 10 SCVs, he's only down 3 workers. Like, that's not that's not that bad, especially because NeO already has a 4th up and running. Tavo, he's only just now getting his 4th up as he is down in terms of workers. Tavo though, he does have, you know, again, he can just keep pushing up this ramp, and he's gonna try to, but the tanks are already sieged up. We'll see if he can power through them. Oh my god, he does just go through everything on the ground, gets on top of the tanks. 2 tanks do fall, but a couple more do show up from the production line. The Vikings even land, and NeO is able to hold in. This is scary. The first push was fine from Tavo. I think Tavo traded very well against the tanks of NeO, but there he threw away a lot. And you do get some diminishing returns. At some point, you do start trading a little bit more inefficiently than your opponents, and that's scary. Tavo has to be careful not to throw away too much. He does get another Doom Drop ready and ready and set up, and I don't blame him. He wants to keep the pressure on, but like, look at this ring of turrets. Not just the missile turrets, but also the sensor turrets. Like, we got sensor turrets all over the place. We got them Venn diagrams being set up, and NeO will have eyes on anything that tries to go and drop across the map. Oh boy. As we do see just nothing but Vikings and tanks in production for NeO. It looks like he's trying to go for a bit of a run by, but there is a full wall off. These Hellions aren't going to find anything here. Meanwhile, here we go. The drop is going into the natural base. The army is not in position. Not in position whatsoever, so the drop does go off, and they do get a nice siege up here in the natural. Is it going to be enough though? The tanks of NeO are not too far behind. The medevacs are all going to go down, and what this means is that the Vikings, they can land on top of these tanks. Oh, they didn't even need to. Oh my god. And this is what I'm concerned about. Look at the units lost. Pretty similar in terms of minerals. A lot more gas loss for Tavo already. Like, in general, NeO is trading more efficiently. Tavo is going for these drops. He's just not finding the damage that he really needs to find. He's trading a little bit, but you could argue that he would have been better off if he kept that army at home and just kept and maxed out maybe and just gone for like a big head-on engagement. This is getting kind of scary. Like, he can't keep doing that. Oh boy, oh boy. And here we go. He is rotating towards the north side of the map. NeO, he gets plenty of heads up that the army is coming, so he does reposition the rest of his tanks, the rest of his Liberators and Vikings, and with that, Tavo cannot push on forward. Both tanks fall. Tavo cannot break him. Not here anyway. He needs to keep trying. And so far, he is doing a nice job, like, rotating between the north and the south. I would love to see him try and hit the north, keep the attention of NeO in one area, and then go for a big drop, like a big bio drop somewhere else. That's probably the best move that he could try and go for. Try and split up the army of NeO. The problem is, as the game goes on, NeO maxes out, and he has enough army to split between all his bases. Even so, NeO is ready. He's here in the center of all his bases, ready to respond to the north or the south, wherever he needs to be. Oh boy. Meanwhile, these Hellbats are slowly chipping away at the base. I mean, go Hellbats. Oh boy. I would, the problem is that honestly, NeO should be a little bit more aggressive in terms of expansions. This is his 5th. NeO is also working on his 5th, right? Tavo has full map control. There we go. He should be taking a 6th. He should be taking a 7th. He should be taking his entire half of the map because NeO is stuck at home. This is something that Tavo should have been working on 5 minutes ago, right? Like, NeO has not been aggressive whatsoever. Only just now is he sending Hellions across the map and they get caught out by the Marauders. So this is something that Tavo should have been taking advantage of much early on, and he just hasn't been able to do so. As a result, Tavo doesn't have the economic advantage that he should have, and because of that, like, NeO is just in such a good position right now. I may be saying that too soon though, because we do have a massive drop in the main base. Sorry, I didn't miss this as I was kind of, off in my own world. We'll see how much damage can get done. He is in the production. There is one tank to back this up. Is this going to be enough to really do something to the main army of NeO? What's important is that Tavo has another force ready and waiting to hit one of the fringe bases. Where it looks like the Vikings are going to be able to clean up all the tanks. It's only Marauders here. He took out a CC, which is nice. I don't believe he's been able to take out much else though. Everything gets cleaned up, and Tavo, is he gonna go? There we go. He's looking to hit the fresh base of NeO, and this will be some nice damage if he gets it, but he doesn't have that much anti-air. The base does get lifted up, and we'll see how fast the response is for NeO. Oh, the base is honestly getting pretty low, but it looks like it has been able to survive. Tavo does back off, so a nice like two-pronged attack, dropping in the main, hitting the 4th, or hitting the 5th even. Is it enough though? Again, this drop didn't really deal too much. It killed a CC, killed CC. that's really all he was able to accomplish there. He would have, like, again, if he killed some factories, that would have been huge, but he just wasn't able to do so. And now NeO is pushing out and he has the army advantage. Oh boy, oh boy. And here we go. NeO is slowly pushing on forward with his tanks. Tavo, he just doesn't have much here at all. A couple of Liberators, honestly, and oh my god, not even Liberators. We have BCs on the way for NeO. We see his tanks are sieging up. There's a bio army here, but it is not enough. Everything just gets completely eviscerated. We do see the Vikings of NeO are able to just take control of the skies. The BCs fall, the Vikings fall. And I think this is going to be the fall of Tavo. Tavo, he does counterattack across the map, which is nice. This is honestly a pretty sizable force dealing a lot of damage. Yeah, is it going to be enough though? That's the question, because I don't think he can hold on to his main. He does have 2 tanks, the BCs teleport across the map, and we are in full base trade mode. I believe NeO has just completely given up his defenses at home against this bio army. Meanwhile, Tavo, he's trying his best to hold on here, but the tanks are going down, the bio is going down. There are no tanks on the high ground either. There's soon to be 1 tank. Is it going to be enough though? To be fair, NeO is taking a long time to push up. Like, these tanks need to get up the ramp. Like, he's taking so long to be active with his army, and as a result, like, a lot of damage is being done across the map. The bio army was able to take out one of the bases. Now there's only 1 mining base left for NeO. Meanwhile, Tavo has 2 mining bases, but at the end of the day, that will not matter as long as NeO is able to get into the main. This is the final stand for Tavo. Tavo cannot let NeO up that ramp. He does have 2 tanks, which is great. He's working on a Thor as well. Oh god, but the BC needs to target fire. There we go. BCs are focusing down the tanks. 1 tank does go down. 2nd tank's gonna go down. The Thor is exposed. Ooh, and Tavo is coming back home. Not the best trade for Tavo, but he cleans up the tanks in the middle of the map. Meanwhile, NeO, he's getting into the main. Like, again, if NeO gets into this main base, it is all over for Tavo, and Tavo knows that. He's gonna try and surround NeO. Yo, show me that surround. He's trying to get up the ramp. But he just can't get up that ramp. He just doesn't have enough on the ground. But again, as time goes on, like, honestly, the Viking count is getting higher. The BCs of NeO are falling. We have 5 Vikings coming out at a time. Oh god, but the tanks are getting up the ramp. They're getting focused out by the Marauders. Another tank falls, a second tank falls. Yo, all the tanks are falling. Meanwhile, that bio force from behind it actually gets the tanks. Tavo holds. I didn't think he could. Oh my god. That's the round. And with that, Tavo, mate, he's got the rich vase. To be fair, so does NeO, kind of. And honestly, Tavo's like, he's looking pretty good. Like, these tanks, what are they gonna do? They're gonna die to the Vikings. There we go. As one tank falls, another tank falls. Like, tanks are strong, but GG gets called. Tavo takes game 1. Wow. El PvP no tiene sentido. Because UZ is 10 minutos. True, true. Yo, but ZVZ, those 10 minutes are pretty intense, alright? As long as you don't get Roach versus Roach, which I understand is what you're saying. Oh god. But yes, GG, well played. Tavo takes game number 1. I didn't think he could do it. I didn't think he could hold it at home. I didn't think he could defend, but somehow he was able to do so. Honestly, looking at the supplies, you could argue that maybe NeO tapped out too soon, but you're so limited with what you can do with pure tank. That's all NeO had. NeO had nothing but tanks. That's it. And we saw how easily it fell to the Marauders and the Vikings. Like, it's so difficult to make happen without some kind of buffer. Oh boy, as again, I'm just rewatching it on the stream right now. Just the way that the way that Tavo was able to surround the army and clean up all the tanks was just amazing. Man with gun, it's all you need. But yeah, I'm just rechecking, so the worker count was pretty even, the army count was pretty even as well, but yeah, NeO, he just tapped out, mate. He thought he was done. And to be fair, Tavo had the advantage. Tavo had more bases mining, he had the superior army as well. So what a game. And I fully understand, Palomo, for the question mark in the chat. It does, again, like, honestly, NeO probably could have kept playing it out. It would have been a very wonky game. Would have been very, very scrappy game, but he thought that he was in a worse position than he really was. Feels bad, man. ZVZ Lingbane versus Lingbane is insane as fuck. I love me some ZVZ Lingbane versus Lingbane. That's my favorite out of all the mirror matchups. Oh, meanwhile, gotta let the players know. Pato listo. As we get ready for game number 2, it will be on Submarine. Oh boy. It's kind of strange. We go from the largest map in the map pool to the smallest. We get to see the two extremes here for Latin American TvT, and oh boy, because this is much smaller, I want to favor Tavo a little bit more here, but we'll see. We'll see how NeO is able to adapt to the much smaller map that is Submarine. And here we go. Spawning in the top left hand corner of Submarine LE, we have the Peruvian Terran, La Tortuga himself, the Turtle Mech Terran. He is representing Rebirth Esports. He is red. It is NeO. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Submarine LE, we have his brother, his brother-in-arms, su hermano himself, his teammate, his... oh god, what is it in Spanish again? God. I keep going back to the duct tape. I can't remember what teammate is in Spanish, but it is his teammate. He is purple. He's Terran, representing Rebirth Esports as well. It is Tavo. Su compañero, su enamorada, su... I know equipo. I can't remember. It's just lost on me. Oh god. Vortex, please, I need you. Oh boy, but here we go. So we're getting into the game, and I'm really curious to see how NeO is going to adapt here, because again, NeO, he's the kind of player who does elongate the game as long as possible. Either that or proxy, right? It's one or the other. So I'm really curious to see what he has in store for us, because again, his style could suffer a little bit on a map like Submarine. The map is a lot smaller, so Tavo can be a little bit more aggressive, he can hit harder. At the same time, you could argue because the map is smaller, it is easier to defend 4 bases, which you're not wrong. Right, so we could be in a weird situation where, sure, we're on a really cramped map where there's not a lot of room to maneuver around, but NeO can still utilize that to his advantage and slow the game down, and we could still end up in a split map scenario on Submarine. We've had that happen before in the past. It's too stressful, Light. mate, it's how you know you're alive for sure. What are you on about? But yeah, Simon Jr. in the chat, real NA tournament, lol. Kind of. Pseudo NA, full Latin American tournaments. For those wondering, this is Sentimiento Latino, which is of course a tournament restricted to only players, citizens, and residents from Latin American countries. That includes North America when it comes to Mexico, as Mexico is in North America, and like Puerto Rico and some of the other Central American countries, as well as all of SA, South America, right? Like Chile, Peru, Ecuador, Brazil, Bolivia, Salvador, wherever you want to be from. So yeah, it is all of those Latin American countries. And as we see right now, we do have a bit of a battle of Los Peruanos, the Peruvian players. I see a lot of Peruvian players in the chat as well, like New Era, like Palomo. Oh boy, but yeah. They are here to cheer on their boy. As a reminder, the winner of this series will face another Terran player in Terran. Meanwhile, we just see NeO being a little bit aggressive here. He does get across the map with his Reapers and his Hellions. Let's take out 2 SCVs, but it looks like that is all the damage he will find here. Does end up losing a Hellion for his troubles. Ooh, could lose a second. Ooh, but was just able to escape. Cyclone lock-on. Unfortunately, he did not have the vision for it, so wasn't able to clean up that Hellion. And the game will continue. Again, the players, they're down to equal amounts of workers. Eyes right now are on Tavo. Tavo, is he going to go for bio tank again, or is he going to go into mech? Tavo is one of those players who can do both. He can diversify his playstyle. He has the versatility to play mech or play bio. NeO, not so much. NeO is most likely going to just mech it up. I can't imagine he'll go for something else. I have seen him go for like Hellbat pushes in TvZ, but again, that's very specific to TvZ, of all things. Como que la tortuga. No sé si es algo nomás en inglés, pero en inglés, cuando juegan mech, se llaman turtle. You know, like a turtle. Because of how defensive they are. I don't know if it translates much to Spanish. I don't know if it's the same in Spanish or not. But yeah, it's a very common English phrase. Oh boy, shout out to all the Latin Americans in the chat. Oh boy. Unfortunately, I don't believe the Spanish intro is currently active. Normally, we do kind of have a Spanish intro available so you can spend your channel points to kind of as a team, everyone in the chat can work together towards that Spanish intro, but I don't believe it's been set up quite yet. So unfortunately, it isn't available today, but will most likely be available tomorrow or in future broadcasts. Speaking of future broadcasts, here we go. We have more factories being thrown down for NeO, so of course, we all knew it was coming. He was going to, you know, make it happen, as it were. Meanwhile, Tavo, he hasn't really committed to any of his tech, but there we go. Sim has started. So once again, Tavo is going for that bio tank style, and why not, right? Like, he's already up 1-0 in the series. He doesn't necessarily have to switch things up, and I would argue that he has the advantage on a map like Submarine, where he can hit a stim timing or a 1-1 timing that much faster. As Tavo does come out ahead there in that bit of a cyclone trade. But before we get into those timings, before we get into those pushes, we do have to respect the fact that, hey, we have a bunch of Ravens here, and it doesn't matter how many tanks you have, as long as you land those interference matrices, then you can nullify those tanks and kind of swing the fight in your favor. As we do see, Tavo is looking to expand. NeO will scout this. NeO will, he will see the army move out. So there we go, he does immediately siege up. He is ready to meet the army of Tavo. Tavo though, he's getting up the ramp. Ooh, but he is forced on the ramp, so NeO does have that high ground advantage. Meanwhile, the auto turrets are being thrown down to kind of tank a couple of those tank shots from each other, and it looks like NeO will be able to win that tank battle. Only 2 tanks remaining for Tavo. Ooh, and Tavo is forced back. This time, the first engagement going so much better for NeO. Again, NeO, he had the heads up. He had a couple of units to scout where the army was. He was able to scan. And more importantly, he stopped Tavo from getting up the ramp onto high ground. And that was not where you wanted to be if you are Tavo. Again, that was a really awkward situation to fight from. Awkward position to fight from. Ooh, and his army is getting caught out a little bit here. He has to be careful. He's trying to get all the way back home. Oh god, but we do see he does stim on forward. The tanks of NeO are not sieged, and immediately 2 tanks do go down, but the rest of the tanks do finish sieging up, and with that, NeO with this massive tank advantage, he takes the fight. He cleans up everything that Tavo has. And what does Tavo have remaining? He has a single tank. He's got, that's it. He's got 1 tank and 1 Marine. Oh no, at the same time, we do have, oh god, some Viking harass, double Viking harass. Oh my god, everything went home? What? Tavo, please. I'm sorry, NeO, please. Oh god. He sends everything home to defend. Oh my god. He could have taken out the 3rd. He scans, he sees the 3rd. There was nothing to defend. Ay, ay, ay. God damn it. Oh god, so NeO had such a good, honestly I thought NeO could like press his advantage and maybe win. And remember, there was 1 tank and 1 Marine to defend. NeO could have taken out this base, sieged up on the low ground, and maybe taken out some of this production, but NeO, he went back home to deal with 2 Vikings, really 1 Viking, and now like he gave enough time for Tavo to get out a couple more tanks. The tanks of NeO cannot push on forward. They're trying to though. At the same time, the Liberator was dealt with. NeO was trying to be cheeky, but again, he was unable to do so. He still has the tank advantage and he has the high ground advantage. Tavo, he gave up the high ground, so now Tavo is in a really awkward position. Meanwhile, NeO is in a really deadly position in between the bases. Oh my god. Meanwhile, the tanks are slowly shelling away at the at the natural base of Tavo. Tavo, ooh, he's getting ready for a surround. But NeO, he sees the Vikings and yo, he may not go for a surround. He's just going for a counterattack. What is there at home? Okay, there are a couple of tanks at home, so NeO isn't completely defenseless. And here we go. Tavo, he goes on forward, but he meets the reinforcements of NeO. He does get pushed away. At the same time, the tanks of NeO are just edging a little bit closer at a time, just shelling away at the SCVs. And here we go. It looks like Tavo has had enough. Immediately, the Raven does go down, and it looks like there are enough Marines here to take out every single tank, but he was forced to pull the boys. So that's a lot of lost mining time, but at the end of the day, he is finally able to breathe that little bit more. He's able to secure his position in his corner of the map. But has he really been able to? NeO, now that he dealt with that harassment, he can send his reinforcements across the map and now apply pressure once again to the third. And now we see NeO, he's slowly pushing forward. Again, only one tank to defend for Tavo, but Tavo, he's getting ready for a surround. Ooh, the SCVs of NeO do spot the main army, so he knows the army is looking to come from behind. Meanwhile, the reinforcements do turn around. He doesn't want to get caught out. But in the end, one tank does get caught out, so it does go down for NeO, but the Vikings do land, and they're trying to take out this base. Meanwhile, the surround is happening once again. And all the tanks do fall, and Tavo is able to keep his third base alive. Again, a third base that shouldn't be here. Again, NeO was in such a good position earlier. Ah, god, the chat is now catching up as we do have a 2-minute delay. And again, Tavo is very much in this. Like, he was in a really rough position, but like Tavo's positioning, his engagements have just been beautiful. Even now, just like stimming forward, taking out all these Vikings for free, essentially. Like, he's doing such a good job at trading with Tavo. Sorry, with NeO. I keep mixing them up. You know, we do have a bit of a Hellion run by, some damage gets done, only 3 workers. Meanwhile, NeO, oh my god, he's just been booming ahead in terms of the economy. 70 workers already for NeO. NeO desperately needs a 4th base to actually mine efficiently. And once he gets a 4th base up and running, like, he's just gonna skyrocket ahead in terms of supply. But until that happens, things are still relatively even. We do see Tavo he's doing what he can with his army, you know, clearing a couple of rocks here and there. He's actually been really neglecting his tank production. He only has 1 factory, I just realized. Now finally I understand why he's really been lacking in terms of the tanks. Usually you go buy a tank, right? But Tavo, he's just going pure bio at this point. My god. Meanwhile, guy in the chat, G5 Tiratuga Kirigaya, welcome. Oh boy. But yeah, very odd decision here from Tavo. Again, just completely neglecting any tanks whatsoever, relying on 1 factory. Meanwhile, the Liberators of NeO are dealing some damage, but they all get cleaned up, so Tavo, he doesn't lose too much to them. Again, just really relying on just Marine Marauder, which you can do, I guess. It just feels really difficult to pull off. Like, if you allow your opponent to siege up, then it's all over, but we see the armies are meeting each other, and NeO is not sieged. Oh god, finally he does siege up, but it's too late. The bio army of Tavo gets on top of everything. Oh my god, and he cleans up all of the tanks. That was a massive loss there for NeO. NeO, he finally manages to siege up at home, but again, this position, he can defend his 3rd, he can defend his natural, he cannot defend his 4th. But Tavo is unaware of the 4th base. Once again, he gets on top of those tanks, unsieged, able to take out the majority of them. It looks like the Hellbats are going to be enough to defend. No, not at all. There's only 1 tank. 0 tanks remaining for NeO, just barely. Tavo is able to push on forward, break through the army of his Terran opponents, and he can keep going. There is a tank here on the high ground, so he does respect that. What's scary? Tavo doesn't see. He doesn't see the 4th. He doesn't know how vulnerable it is. Instead, he rotates around to the 3rd base. He will deal some damage here, which is great, and GG gets called anyway. Tavo takes the game, takes the series 2-0. Wow. Again, like the positioning, every single time Tavo, he's able to catch NeO off guard, where he's not sieged, where he's unaware, so he doesn't realize where the army of Tavo is until it's too late, until he's already lost 3-4 tanks, and then suddenly the battle swings in favor of Tavo. There were definitely moments there where NeO had the advantage. There were moments where NeO had an opportunity to maybe maybe end the game, maybe just take a massive lead, but he just didn't take them because he didn't know. He just had very limited scouting information, and in the end, it wasn't enough. GG, well played, Tavo. 2-0's NeO, and moves on to the semifinals or semifinales to face his strongest opponent yet, the Brazilian player, Deden.